Hello, hello. Oh, yes, we are live. Oh, hello, right away. I see people right away. How fabulous. Sometimes there's a delay. This is great. So let's make sure I'm waiting for the notification that I'm really live. There we go. I should be live to Janome Canada Facebook, Janome America Facebook, and our Janome HQ YouTube channel and Janome America YouTube channel. Sometimes there's there we go. Yay. Again, always double checking that volume. So fabulous. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. It is great to be back with you. Yes, I am live here from the Janome Sewing and Learning Center in Oakville, Ontario. I am Michael Smith, the National Education Manager of Janome Canada. But yes, thrilled to be back with you in the Janome Sewing Machines Facebook page. And again, we're streaming live to Janome Canada Facebook and Janome Canada, our Janome HQ YouTube, as well as Janome America's YouTube, and Janome Sewing Machines Facebook, of course, and all of our continued efforts to share the Janome love. So it's wonderful to be back with you today on this Wednesday. And what are we going to talk about? Well, let's flip around right away because you know the time is going to go by so fast. So what I would love to share with you all, boom, yes, look at the fabulous one of our classrooms at the Janome Sewing and Learning Center. But specifically what we're going to talk about today, yes, this fabulous AcuStitch software. Now, you just saw Celine yesterday, our fabulous educator Celine, do her regular Tuesday live, also using this AcuStitch software. It is so multi-purpose, multi-dimensional. There's so many things you can do with it. It is, yes, for Windows-based operating systems. So if you have a Mac, you must partition your hard drive so you can run both, or many of our Mac owners tell us they just use an inexpensive laptop and they can run this Windows-based program. So AcuStitch comes with some embroidery machines like the fabulous 550 ELE here, comes with the machine, or if your machine does not come with AcuStitch, you can get it like this from your Janome dealer. And it is so fun that, again, we just get more from our embroidery machine. You can see I've already been having some fun here. So what is AcuStitch? Well, many years ago, Janome came out with, boom, you know, this fabulous circular sewing attachment was for the sewing machine. And we could use our decorative stitches in the sewing machine to create, again, a circular sewing attachment for the sewing machines. And we see, oh, they're like my stars. They overlap just a little bit. They're not quite the same spacing as this. Some stitches work out better than others. You know, my rope was pretty good. That lined up beautifully. Don't manipulate your fabric too much, as I did there, and that, you know, created that little blip. But again, you can use your stitch. Again, this came out perfectly, that came out perfectly, so it's so fun. We can stitch in a circle with the circular sewing attachment. Well, then, of course, that's just not enough. Janome says, well, great, we can do more with our embroidery machine, and they introduced this AcuStitch tool. Initially was only to stitch in a circle, but again, look at how beautiful those stitches line up because it's software. So this is the fun thing about AcuStitch software. We can go really small in the diameter of our circle. But again, we're limited to hoop size. So this AcuStitch software will work with any Janome embroidery machine, pretty much so long as you have a USB port in the side of your machine to transfer design. So again, there are our perfect circular stitches. And again, decorative stitches that are typically built into the sewing machine. Well, now they're stitched out in the embroidery machine. Here again was the circular sewing attachment from the sewing machine. You can see I can only go so small. This is 2-inch diameter on the circular sewing attachment. That's all I can do. But with the AcuStitch software, oh, look, I can go smaller than 2 inches. Now, in the circular sewing attachment for the sewing machine, again, this outer circle is about, I think, 11 inches diameter, if I remember. So we can go bigger in the circular sewing attachment than maybe we could in our embroidery hoop. But again, it depends on our machine. Certainly the CM17, oh yes, we could use that giant 11 inch by 18.2 inch hoop, you know, that we could do bigger. But then again, that wasn't enough. Janome is always thinking more, more, more. Well, now, so AcuStitch, yes, we can stitch in a circle. This beautiful sampler made, but now, oh, we can create different shapes. There are different shapes built into the AcuStitch software. And look at this one. It's this big square. So what I did is measure my square. And again, it depends on your embroidery hoop, how big you can go. I measured my square here. And then look, that is a blanket stitch, an applique stitch that we would have built into the sewing machine. But now it can be stitched out in the embroidery machine. Here is this kind of feather stitch. I call it like a chicken scratch stitch. All of this, again, built into the software. So you do all your designing on the computer and then transfer over. Again, this star stitch is built into a number of machines. And again, yes, we can stitch in a circle. Or again, yes, circles are my favorite. But then, oh, look over here. That's more like a octagon, that is, 8-sided octagon with this little heart stitch. And again, there's so much fun we can do. Oh, I'm so sorry. I coughed during my Instagram live today too, of course. I have been teaching yesterday a class, and then I've been traveling and doing events. So I'm sorry, my throat's a little raw, but I definitely didn't want to cancel today, that's for sure. Digital ruler work. Oh yes, we could do more with AcuStitch. This feather shape, I can't do that free motion wise, that's for sure. So instead, my embroidery machine does it. And again, there's a little heirloom stitch that is built into most machines. Now with the editing capabilities built into the AcuStitch software, I flipped that feather and mirror imaged it and rotated it and combined it with the fonts built into my machine. So you can really have a lot of fun. So traditionally, when we're doing ruler work, we're following a shape, a template, a ruler on the domestic sewing machine, typically using a straight stitch. Well, now here in the embroidery machine, I can stitch out this cute little tree with whatever stitch. And again, a little bow ornament. So just in time for the holidays. Now, yes, I stitched this on my CM17, but it'll work with, again, any Janome embroidery machine, so long as you have a USB port that you can transfer the designs, it will work. So the fun thing is, from Florida, breezy in Florida. Yes, it's a little breezy and cool here too. But yes, we can go into our AcuStitch software. Oops, AcuStitch software. So the first thing when you open your software, in the top right is this little blue question mark. And you are going to click and look, built-in help files. So this is all about AcuStitch, everything you need to know. It is quite an extensive manual. Look how thick that is. So you can print this out if you choose. I love to put mine in page protectors and a red binder specifically, but again, you don't have to print this. It's available all the time. You just open another window whenever you're stuck, and you've got built-in help there. MemoryCraft 550E. Fuzzy design, please. I'm not sure what that says. But yes, I'll try to answer questions as I go along. But yes, the machine is with the MemoryCraft 550E, is the ELE, limited edition of what I'm demoing today. So that's the first thing we're going to do, is the little blue question mark. And then we're going to come over here to the top left. And this is where we can scroll down to this stitch reference chart, and we're going to get a PDF form that we can again print out. Look at all these decorative stitches. Now these applique stitches, the blanket stitch, for example, the decorative stitches, heirloom stitching, long, pictograph, again, play, quilt. You may have these built into your regular sewing machine. These look very familiar. Well, now we're going to stitch these out in the embroidery machine. And of course, there's more. So also again to the top left, we scroll down. So that was stitch reference chart. This is the template data reference chart, which again, we can print out. So now ruler work, for example, this heart shape is a ruler template, a plastic, acrylic template in the Janome 6-piece ruler kit that we would typically use that ruler on our domestic sewing machine, free motion wise, doing ruler work in our sewing machine to create that heart shape. Well, now this heart shape is built into the ruler work function. And look at all this beautiful, star-like effect is built into the ruler work function here of AcuStitch. There's that feather I stitched out, plus these big fonts, letters, more shapes, all built into AcuStitch. It is so fun. You have unlimited creativity at your fingertips. Let's go back up here to the left and we scroll down. Model selection is very important. This is where we have a drop-down menu and look at all the machines it's compatible with, like the CM17, MemoryCraft 15,000, MemoryCraft 14,000, 12,000, 9900, 9850, Skyline S9, 550E, 550 ELE, 500E, 400E, 450E. And again, oh, that sounds like such a whirlwind. I'm talking so fast. Well, no problem. I'm just going to select my machine there, 550E. We can go on the Janome Global site. We type in our browser, Janome Global site, and we go to the Janome bulletins. And I click, oh, look, there's a bulletin here about AcuStitch version 2.3. Whenever there's an update to any of the software, it's all here on the Janome Global site, and that tells you, in this case, version 2.3 was the last update. Previously, there was 1 to 2.2 that included some of the rulers work and the triple stitch here. And then, previously there was another bulletin, again, to create that digital ruler work. So all of this is here on the Janome Global site with all the instructions. So those are the bulletins to let you know, hey, there's been something new, some new products, some new updates. But then also on the Janome Global site, we go to the Software Apps tab, and then here I can see AcuStitch update to 2.3. So this explains what the update is and how to do it. Full instructions here. You can print out the actual download. This is to update your computer. It's not to update your machine. So that info is on the Janome Global site. So then we can go back to the software here, go to the top left and scroll down to version. Now I see here I've got version 2.30. So I know I've got the most up-to-date version, because then I went to the Janome Global site and I saw that the version is, again, 2.3. So that's how we can see, is all of our software up to date, regardless of what the program is. So now here I am in, fabulous. Our fabulous Janome Canada maker, Ashley, is here. Charmed by Ashley. Hello, it is great to see you. So now we're in the software, and again, I've selected my machine. So I go over here to hoop size. Look, all the hoops from my 550E, in this case, 550E LE, including the optional hoops like the hat hoop, the AcuFill quilting hoop, that ASQ18B, and even the brand new SQ10B hoop, the small square hoop. It's a brand new hoop. It's coming to Janome Canada. We don't have it yet. It's not in stock yet, but it's coming. So again, all the hoops for our machine are here. So for our AcuStitch, again, we're just limited by hoop size. So isn't that fun? Now we come over here, look at all these shapes. Now again, traditionally, AcuStitch was only a circle. Well, now look at all these shapes that we can create. So it's very, very fun. We select whatever shape that we want. Or again, we go into ruler work here. Let's go up a menu. When I click on the digital ruler work, then we have like two main categories within AcuStitch. The STX sample is all of our regular stitches, decorative stitches, like applique stitches, decorative, heirloom, long, pictograph, play, etc. Or this VRW sample is, again, the ruler work. So there's the alphabets, the numbers, and ruler work. So we can scroll through here. So let's just jump up and I'll go to heart. So we have a little preview window here to select. There, that's that heart. Again, typically I would be sewing that on my machine, sewing machine, with a heart template that I'd be following. In this case, it's going to be the ruler work option within our AcuStitch. Then, so I've chosen my shape. Now I can choose my stitch. So I'm just going to use my little arrow to go up again. Here's my STX sample, the stitches. So again, do I want applique, decorative, heirloom, long, pictograph, play, quilt, whatever we want to select. In this case, oops, there's my quilt category. And you see, then I got the little icon up here, the little preview window. It is so fun what we can do to create whatever we want to do. Again, oh, this is where I could spend forever. I'm going to go back to, let's do decorative stitches. You just have so much fun. Then when you select your stitch, now we can go and I'm going to make this bigger. To me, it almost looks like candy cane in a way, but look at this beautiful heart. And again, I know I'm a little further away because if I do autofocus with my phone, things start going weird. So hopefully you'll be able to see it all, or especially when you get your AcuStitch software home and in front of you, replay this presentation again, and then what I'm doing now makes perfect sense. So basically, we can change the size of our shape. And again, we're limited on hoop size, but we can change the size of the shape. And then we hit convert. And then boom, I get up in my little design window. There is my embroidery bow. Isn't that adorable? So there is my little heart shape. Now I've got a yellow box around it, just like our embroidery editor software, just like on our machine. That means this design is active. So I had selected previously my RE36B hoop, that big 7.9 by 14.2 hoop of the 550E and 550 ELE. So there is my heart. Then I can go into the edit mode. And these are all the same editing functions that we have in our embroidery editor software, in our AcuFill quilting software, and in our embroidery machine itself. So again, most of the time I can resize my designs up 20%, or in this case, oops, I'll shrink him down again 20%. So he's now at 80. So we go there. And then again, oh, we've got the vertical, horizontal mirror image. I could rotate him. You know, how fun is that? Now, I've also got the same editing if I want him in the center. Boom. I just click one button, just like on our machine, or I want 4 of these. Boom, the 4 cornering tool. Like, isn't that so fun? We have a delete, so anything that's selected in yellow is active. So if I want to delete all these new ones, I just click and either hit my little trash can, or of course we also have the undo button, and that brought mine back. Again, how many times do we hit undo? I love undo. So there is our heart, and let's say, oh, I don't want to have him centered, or I don't want to have him rotate, so I can just keep undo, undo, undo. There we go, and he's back to normal. So then we go back into home, and I can scroll over here to, again, if I wanted another ruler work option, if I wanted another shape. Let's do our circle shape, and I'm still in decorative stitches, so preview, there's my stitch, open. Now again here, oh, we know these stitches are going to line up perfectly because it's software. So again, I can use my little magnifying glasses to really get in and see those stitches. Whenever I'm done, I set my spacing. Now it's all in millimeters. I can't figure out how to change it to inches. I think it's all going to stay in millimeters the way most embroidery is. I convert. Oh, and then see, it's too big for my embroidery hoop. This is what I also love about this program. It won't let you make that mistake. Convert. I see it in my design here, so it must be able to work. Close. Now, I don't know the conversion between inches and millimeters, so I was able to download, again, I just Googled millimeters to inches, and I was able to download that. So I just type in what's the millimeter here in the software and convert that to inches. Or conversely, I say, I have a 4-inch square of fabric and I want to fill my circle in that 4 inches. How many millimeters is 4 inches? And then I can plug that number in when I'm sizing my design. So that way I know my circle in this case is going to fill my 4-inch piecing. So you can really have a lot of fun, in which case I might as well I'm just going to leave it like this. If I want to add some fonts here, again, we go into monogram, all the fonts built into your embroidery machine are here. That we can change the sizes of the font. So again, if I just want to do Janome, boom. And then we've got different things like a border and normal sew, which are built into, again, our Janome embroidery machines. They're at the end of the font category. These are decorative stitches, again, that are built into our Janome machine. Oh, everybody loves that shoe. And again, close. So again, that is a little shoe, but then I can go into my edit and I can make that bigger shoe, 20%. It is so fun what we can do. In our fonts, for example, just like on our machine, I can go in and loosen them. I break it apart. I like to have a little more space between my fonts. So we can do that. We can arc it, all the same editing you can do on your machine, you can do here in this software, just like Embroidery Editor, just like AcuFill Quilting. In this case, I don't want these to stitch out, so anything in yellow, I just delete. It is so easy. So what can we do? Here is my, oh, actually, I will return my Janome. I will bring that back. I do have some space. So then we can, again, make him a little bigger. I'm just going to move them down here. So again, we can do whatever we wish. This is the order in which it's going to stitch. It's going to stitch out the heart first, then the circle, then the Janome. If I wanted to, oh, maybe I want my Janome to come out first. I just simply drag and click, and that alters my sewing order. So simple and easy to do. Now, when we're ready to stitch this out, we go back up here to the left, and now I can save this design if I want to continue editing it, or I don't have a USB stick with me, I'm not near my embroidery machine. I can do all my creating first, then save it to my desktop, save it to my folders, and then retrieve it later. Great, again, if you're not without, or you're without your machine, but you can make the most of your time doing all this creating first. Oh, and my sister Deb is here. Hello, hello. Now we can go into print and print preview. And this is where, boom, we could print out a template, just like in our embroidery editor software that comes with our Janome embroidery machine. So I hope you're all familiar with that software, because again, this is much the same. Print out a template. There's the arrow that shows us how to align this in our hoop. I tape my templates to the back of the plastic gridded templates for the hoop. So again, we can see how we can position this on our fabric. And there it is stitched out. Isn't that gorgeous? With the fonts built into your machine. This was part of the, again, a normal sew and border. And then there, AcuStitch in a, what was that? A heptagon, because it's 7-sided. Yeah, so it's not a hexagon, it's not an octagon, it's a heptagon. But there, love. Look at how perfect that is. So cute. So we could do so much with this AcuStitch software. So we can print a template and then we can position it on our fabric just as we want. Now we can also, again, let's go back up here, and we can retrieve. I can open, in this case, I don't want to save what I did, but I can go back and retrieve, where did I save a previous design? Well, in my case, I saved it to my desktop. So you can save a design on your computer, in your files, wherever, again, when you are doing some editing, but you're not near your machine. And I saved it under, there we go, and open. This is what I've previously saved. Fabulous. Now I want to continue on this. So again, I can go into my home, and let's do that circle again. And I'll just pull up a decorative stitch, open, so I can size my circle. It's so fun what we can do. Close. So again, I'm just going to layer this, since we have all this space on this fabulous RE36B hoop. And I'll just quickly do this. Oops, I'll go back to home. Again, it's so fun. You could do, oh, maybe instead, I always do fonts. How about I go back to home, and how about I do the monograms here, 2-letter monograms, 3-letter monograms, S, Berm, my initials. So there we go. I click OK, boom. I'm going to put him in the middle there. Again, oh, I could just spend all day doing this. It's so fun. So boom, I love this. Again, I could change my order if I wanted to. But most importantly, now I'm done. This is beautiful. I'm going to go up to write a design, and we make sure that we have a USB stick plugged into our computer. It's going to by default open up in the PC, but no, where do I want this design to be saved? USB stick. Now we can create, I've already formatted my USB stick by plugging it into my machine. So I see my embroidery folder, but we no longer have to save things into the embroidery folder. We can go down here and create a new folder with this little new folder icon. I've created a new folder called AcuStitch. So I select it. It's in my drop-down menu, AcuStitch. So I know my design's going to go there. It's just easier to find it that way. You don't have to put it in a folder, but it's easier. Then most importantly, we're going to rename this JEF file, and I'm just going to rename it. Perfect. And then we're going to take from the computer to the USB stick like that. And also, very importantly, down here in the bottom of my computer, I have this little arrow. And when I click on it, I've got this little icon that says safely remove hardware, eject disk. We don't just want to pull out our USB stick from the computer, that can corrupt it. So when you can't find your files, then maybe it's the stick is corrupted. So we plug this into our embroidery machine, and then again we want to retrieve that file, so the file folder with the arrow out. So again, it wasn't in my embroidery folder. This up arrow is your friend. I click on it. Oh, now I see my AcuStitch folder. So if you click in your USB and you can't immediately find your design, remember that up arrow. So here I am, AcuStitch. Oh my gosh, I don't see my design. Panic, panic, panic. No, I see 1 of 3. So I just scroll over. Is this my design? Well, that's what I printed earlier. Is that my design? Oh, well, I printed that one earlier too. Look how beautiful that is. So there's the same love, but I love how it spun this little pinwheel in the middle. Isn't that cute? And again, this was one of the border designs that I expanded, made bigger. Again, built-in lettering, Janome Love. Now it looks especially beautiful with this multicolor thread. This is some Madeira multicolor thread I love. So double check with your Janome dealer what beautiful threads they have. This is a great time to use them. Again, page 2 of 3, there's my design. Now earlier, this is what I've already stitched out. Boom, I already stitched that out. Again, decorative, this probably looks very familiar to you. That same long stitch. And again, the decorative, look how intricate that is. The decorative stitch is built into most machines, but now it is stitched out in AcuStitch. So now I'm going to select that design. Beautiful. And then I still have the editing capabilities here in the machine. So I could go back to further edit this. I'm just going to click OK. So there's a lot we can do with this machine. Now I'm going to jump ahead because I've already stitched this out. I don't want to stitch this out again. So I'm just going to jump. I can go in as well to the machine and do, how many stitches will I go to? So I'm just going to advance this a little more. There we go. So now I want to go off. Yes. Into here. Oops. And drop my foot. And this will stitch out so beautifully. Now I do have my magnets in, but a lot of the times I like to baste around because I'm floating my, in this case it's just felt, but I'm floating my fabric here. I've got my stabilizer hooped, but I'm floating my fabric. So I like the magnets, and then yes, I do like to run the basting along so it didn't move. Now in this case, just to save time, because as usual, I'm running really close to my time. I didn't bother with the baste here, but normally, yes, I baste. That's what that box is. But you see how this is stitching out so perfectly. Now this is going to take me 11 minutes there on the screen with that monogram and this flower stitching, so we won't see it stitch out, but there you go. You create the fun with AcuStitch. Now, as a suggestion, when you are done your embroidery, then you take your USB flash drive and you put it back in your computer, delete what you just put on it, and that way it stays nice and clean, and you can transfer your files more easily because you have less on it. When it's harder to find your designs, maybe you've got too much on your stick. So when you transfer it to your machine, just go back and delete it in your computer and keep that stick fresh and clean so you can move and find your designs more easily. So what color bobbin thread do I have? Oh, well, in this case, I'm not going to see the back of my embroidery, so I just have my white Janome pre-wound bobbin thread. But in the case of my sampler quilt here, you could, if you wanted to, match your bobbin thread. I've got a really busy backing, so it's great that you can't see as much. But if you wanted to, if it's quilted through layers, you'll probably want to match your bobbin with your top thread. So that's up to you. But yes, and very quickly with this sampler, again, I've got backing and a top. I have batting in between. So a perfect time to use for your 550E. I hope you were here with me last week. I was doing AcuFill quilting in the hoop. And this is a special magnetic hoop for the 550E, 550 ELE, 500E, 450E with, again, the big, ooh, they're strong, these big magnets over the magnetic strips. So it's the AcuFill quilting hoop. And again, I layer my, layer my fabric over my layers, my batting, my backing, and my top over the magnetic hoop, and then clamp it down into place. Again, I can print out my template so I know exactly where, you know, this circle is going to stitch, for example. So it does all the work, the software does all the work for you. All you have to do is thread up your embroidery machine, hoop your fabric, and away you go. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. I hope to see you all again soon. Have a fabulous day. Bye.